Hi, Salwen, and welcome to another episode of Ingwalo Labalobi. My name is Angela Svanda, and this episode is proudly brought to you by Dev3 Events, your partner in sound system lighting photo shoot, and portraits. So today, my guest is a lady. I know if you've been watching the previous episodes, you've been seeing men coming here. So today I have a sister of mine, Nkanyiso Siziba. She's an author. She recently published a debut book called What Love Is. Sis Sagwamgera podcast.
Yeah, well, cool. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so for someone who has never met Nkanyiso, can you introduce yourself? Who are you?
Okay, so Nkanyiso is a storyteller. I think that's the best way to describe myself. I write books, yes, but I do other things. I'm an actress also. I do short stories. I'm dabbling in poetry, and recently my current project is a flash fiction piece. And yeah, Nkanyiso loves stories.
Okay.
Nkanyiso reads books and watches ridiculous amounts of TV. And I don't just watch TV. I will watch for the camera angles, for the storytelling, for the storyboard, for the art. I want to see what this writer was thinking. Why did they do this? Why did they use that? And so I usually watch shows with my friends. But I'll watch them, and then I'll have to text my friends, and we send each other these long voice notes. Did you see that? Did you notice that? Because what I like really is stories. I may package them as books or short stories, but I love stories. That's Nkanyiso. Nkanyiso loves stories and storytelling.
Okay. It sounds like you pay so much attention to what's going on. Do you then get to enjoy the story? How does it work? Like you're watching something and you're also looking out for this and looking out for that.
I think it's a double-edged sword. There's times when I enjoy stuff. There's times when other people can enjoy it, but I don't.
Okay.
But I think for the most part, I think I actually enjoy it more than everybody else because I learn so much. I see things in the story that other people don't see. Stories hit me differently. Stories are about the only medium that can talk to me about things I'm uncomfortable talking about, and I think I actually enjoy it more, actually.
Okay. You mentioned being a reader. You love reading.
Yes.
What are your top three books?
Yeah, yesterday I was like, I hope she doesn't ask me which one is my favorite because I really don't think I have one.
Okay.
I don't think I have one because there's so many books that I've read and been like, yes, that I've just absolutely enjoyed.
Don't you have like that one book that you have read like over and over and over again?
Okay, Nervous Conditions by Tsitsi Dankare.
Ah, that one.
It's an excellent book. The nuance in that story, the themes in that story, the feminism,
It's also emotional.
it's very emotional.
Yeah.
Especially when that young lady starts like losing her mind.
Yeah.
It broke me. I think I cried the first time I read that.
I did. I did. I At least you cried on that part. I think I cried literally throughout the book.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did it at school and it was just difficult for me. It was just one of those. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very difficult book, but also I feel seen. I felt seen. I felt so validated, and I think that's the magic of books. That validation that they give you as someone who identifies with whatever theme is in that book. So yeah, I loved that one. But then when I was a child, Great Expectations by
Okay.
Charles
Charles Dickens.
My God, I read it, and I was still a kid. I didn't even understand stories, and I just love how Dickens would paint pictures in your head,
yes,
like
yes.
that woman stopping clocks and deciding sizahlala khonapha in this wedding setup, and how that was so vivid in my head. Oh my God, her life has stopped here, and she is emotionally not moving from this, and how I could understand that in Umntwana. I think that's why I was like, okay, I think writing is a very powerful medium.
It is.
And then obviously things fall apart. Chinua Achebe, it's a
Of
very
course.
serious book, right? But then there's these moments of humor. I think
There's so
only
much
Chinua
satire
Achebe
in
can
that
do
one.
that. Yes.
So much satire.
Yes, like the time when I think it's Okonko when he shoots his wife, and then he's scared that maybe he's killed her. And they're like, no, but dude, you look like you were confident with this like not so long ago. So yeah, my name. But I've given you
Okay.
three.
Yeah.
Isn't
Now
yes.
we have
Okay. We
the
got there in the
the
end.
three. Okay. So now we have a bit of background about your reading journey, like you understanding Charles Dickens at a younger age. Um, Now let's talk about your writing journey. When does it begin? When do you start seeing that, okay, I think I have this incredible imagination?
So that's another difficult question for me because I think I started telling stories before I realized what I was doing. So Dala, we used to watch Abo Santa Barbara at the risk of giving away my age. But we used to watch Abo Santa Barbara, all about Melrose Place, Labo Beverly Hills, what. And so you'd watch episodes Yamhlaloko, then so next week. And ZBC was mean like that. Next week.
Yeah.
Like awungafani like I don't know how you can sit with Netflix and just binge. Qala binge. So I think to me, because of my impatience, I'd go to bed and struggle to fall asleep until I can just finish the story to myself and say, okay,
that part.
laphana ngcono lwana yenze so, like, yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So that is what I would do. That's how, but I did not have that realization that you are telling stories. To me, it was just, guys, I'm just trying to finish this thing so I can sleep, right? And then with time, I noticed like if you missed a show and you came home and been like, what happened today? They were like, how to go jail? She knows how to tell stories. So I was always the person, and I'd be happy to do it. I was always so happy to do it. And then later on in college, I met a friend who said, Gabugelang Titanic. And I was so shocked, like, who hasn't watched Titanic? But I was also happy because that was 3 hours of ukuxoxela umuntu story. So I was like, no, I'll tell you. And as I was telling her, someone came in and she said to them, okay, go on this day because I'm watching Titanic like right now. Because when she tells a story, it's as good as you're watching it. And that happened quite a few times with other people. I remember telling someone, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And she was so engrossed and she was like, oh my God, you're such a good storyteller. And then I went through a traumatic incident. And so earlier I said, stories are the only medium that can talk to me about things I don't want to talk about. So I could not sit with that trauma. I could not like face someone like, guys, this happened. And I'm here and I need to heal and I just couldn't. And then I watched How to Ruin Christmas, the funeral.
Okay.
And the first time I laughed. Then I wanted to watch it again. The second time I cried. Because in that second time, it kind of spoke to me about what I was going through. And I was like, oh, wow, stories have a way of talking to me. And I felt better. So let me look for what I went through in a book, in a story somewhere. And I couldn't find it. I racked my brain. I tried reading blurbs, trying to find stories, that funny blurb that they put, and you're like, no. Then I thought, no, maybe let me write my story. Let me tell myself my story. So I created these characters in my head, and I created this story. And every night I would sit with my trauma behind the disguise of the story that I'm telling myself. And then I come to town one day for my errands. Then I see something and I go home and I send a friend a voice note. You will not believe what I just saw. This. It was not a funny story, but she laughs. And she says, I'm not laughing at what happened. I'm just amazed at your ability to tell a story. And I'm thinking, actually, I have this story in my head. So maybe I should write it. Then I wrote it. And your first draft is the worst thing ever. I think so. My mentor says your first draft is you telling yourself the story.
Okay.
But anyway, I wrote it, and then I saw this submission opportunity to Grave of Press, and Tsitsi Dankarembo was going to be the one reading these manuscripts. I was like, yay! Then I sent my manuscript. While we were waiting, I found myself in Tologians, and then I started watching YouTube videos, right, on writing.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, that manuscript that I sent.
It's disaster.
Really high, guys, like, yo. So by the time they sent the regret, I knew. But I was excited to then sit down with my manuscript and say, story structure. Right? There's stasis, there's an inciting incident, there's rising action, there's falling climax and falling action.
Wait, you had no idea about those things when you wrote?
No. I studied IT, and I worked for an audit firm here in IT.
Okay.
That was me. And I worked with IT people, and I'd always catch myself saying, one day when I'm writing, because they were fun. They were drama. Okay. And I always used to think, and actually they are represented in this book in some way or another. And this lady that I worked with at that firm, when she read, she called me like, how's this job the IT? I was like, yes. So that was my thing. Because I think Sekula intelligence was sciences.
Yes.
Right? Maths, physics, chemistry. So because you want to be identified as intelligent, you do maths, physics,
even
and
now
chemistry.
we still have that. We still have that. Say umntwana opasayo ngoyenza
sciences.
Yeah.
So we did sciences while we had stories burning inside us. And only later on decided, you know what, let me lean into this. So that is my topsy-turvy writing journey. So then I...
all right. So after you submitted it, does it get selected?
No. They sent me a regret, a very strong regret. I took it back. I decided I do not know what I'm doing, because there's a difference between passion and ability. You can know that you like something. It doesn't mean you know how to do it.
Damn.
Someone said to me, you need to school the gift.
Yeah.
The gift is fine.
It reminds me of
It
reminds me of that a question that was asked ku-Intwasa round table writers, which is a writer born, or is a writer someone that you can actually teach? Can you teach people to write, or they have to be born writers?
Wow.
Now that speaks to you, to which you know you can have the gift, but you still have to
learn.
So what happened next?
So yeah, I learned and I wrote.
Again. Did you rewrite the whole thing?
Yeah, I had to.
From scratch?
From scratch.
Okay.
Because didn't even have story structure. Didn't have anything. It was just... And so I rewrote it. And rewrote it again, I think about 7 times. Because I was learning. And I told myself, look, take your time. Right? And when you're dedicated to something, you want to... Yeah, I did it over and over as I learned stuff. Because there's some characters, all my characters sounded the same for one.
Okay.
Because I hadn't created characters, I did not know that you need a character Bible.
Okay.
I did not know that there's something called method writing, which as an actress, I could understand, because there's something called the method in acting, where you can put on your character and walk around in them and know how they react to certain situations and have that character show in the aesthetics around them. And all that. And also just the art of prose, the art of nuance, where you say one thing but not really mean that one thing. And understanding writing as an art and not just a narration. There's things, there's show, don't tell. I'm learning all these things, so I keep rewriting. No, Lapana. You know, and so I think I did it about 7 times. And that COVID shutdown helped, because we had time, guys, lots of time to learn and write and then rewrite. And my mentor says writing is rewriting. So it doesn't, when you're now rewriting, now you're writing. Lapana, that was you telling yourself the story. It's an outline at best. It's just random ideas brought together. But writing is rewriting and rewriting and rewriting. And after I submitted my manuscript to a publisher, she took out, I think, 5 chapters. First, she broke the book in 2. She said, no, this is too much. Let's split this into two. Now develop this story. I'm developing this story. I think, yeah, you need to be open to learn, I think, with writing or with anything. Then we develop this one part. And then she says, okay, remove all these 5 chapters and then do this and then. And when she finished, she said something about the book. She made a comment about it. And then there's a book club in South Africa that picked up the book and they read it. It's called Empowered Woman.
Okay.
They read my book, and when they were doing the review, they invited me. It was a Zoom meeting. And the owner of the book club said exactly what the publisher had said. Usually, when I was reading this, I felt like I was watching it on TV. Because that's what the publisher said. My selling just so Hans TV. Now you have a book now. That's storytelling. And then you compare from my first draft, and I am happy for that journey. It was arduous, it was a lot. But I'm glad that I had people tell me the truth.
Yeah. You keep mentioning your mentor. How important is it to have one as an author or as a creative?
I think in life generally, you need a mentor. I think it's Isaac Newton who says, if I've seen further than others, it's because I've stood on the shoulders of giants, right? Mentors see things you don't see. And mentors will pull you out of yourself. And they will push you into your greatness. And someone said you learn from 2 things, mistakes or mentors. You can write your first draft, which is whatever, and send it and have Grey Wolf Press tell you hi. Or you can just have a mentor who will tell you hi. So you can learn from a mistake, but mistakes are costly. But a mentor is someone who tells you, and then you don't have to experience it. This one won't work. And then you won't have to make the mistake and experience that, you see. So I think it's important in life in general, and especially in the creative industry. I've learned so much from my mentor. I actually started learning from this person before they were my mentor. He said something that has stayed with me throughout my writing. Even before I started writing, he said this thing and I was like, wow, I think I'll use that one day. I didn't know way because I hadn't even leaned into writing. He said, stories are living things. A good writer, you start to tell a story, and then the story tells you where it wants to go. And a good writer listens. And then when I was doing a creative writing course, I found that they were talking about that. Even Robert McKee, the guy who wrote Story, he talks about that, how your job is to create good characters and a plot. Once it's like that, these characters are people. They will take that plot and tell you what they are going to do with it because they are characters. And if I'm an introvert and you're an extrovert, and someone comes in here and tries to disturb us, the way I will respond is not the way you will respond. And that's why you create characters. Yes. And so a good writer is not going to make me the introvert come after that person. It's not in my character.
Yes.
It's you who's going to do that, right? Chances are. So a good writer listens to that. That's what that mentor says. So I think wells of wisdom, progress. I've moved a lot faster after I've decided, let me just sit under this guy and learn from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So after publishing now, I want us to talk about now you are a published author. How has been your experience in the book industry in terms of the distribution and marketing, the way audiences or readers in this case are receiving your book and everything that comes after you have published?
Okay, so I don't want to make enemies, but
Please don't.
but I feel like our reading culture is not that good here.
Okay.
I actually had quite a few people, publishers even say that. Yeah, the reading culture here it's not that good.
Okay.
As compared to maybe like South Africans. Those women read books.
But we also read their books.
We read their books, yes. So I've had the privilege of sitting with Catherine Peary and Busisegile Kuma, not sitting with, but talking to Catherine Peary and Busisegile Kuma. And they are from here.
Okay.
But they sell their stuff in SA.
Is
and they
it?
write an essay. And we read their books as a Vele South.
Esevele South.
And in some of the conversations I've had with authors in South Africa who are originally from here, it's the reading culture is just better that way. They're actually making money. They can even write on WhatsApp and have people pay to get into those groups to read small inserts.
That's where I was going to
Yes.
say. You're saying they're from here. They go, they write, they give us, we read. If something is written from South Africa, we read it. But if something is written locally, we don't. Why is that? Because to say reading culture is not good. I don't know, because
Yes.
it's we are reading. We are reading, like, 3/4 of the time, if you, okay, let me talk about women. If you
Yes.
get to a space where maybe it's a conference or something and you all are waiting for everything to begin, people are on their phones. Most of them, they're reading something.
I've had this conversation with my cousin, who's also my mentor, who's my other mentor.
Mm.
And she says, no, people read. And she says exactly what it's like, no. So we always have this debate. That's why I was like, yeah, I don't want to be hated. The idea that our reading culture is bad, it's tongue in cheek. There are people who believe our reading culture is bad. Then there are people who believe our reading culture is not bad. And they say what you're saying. No, people are always reading. And then the whole thing about us liking South African things more than we like our own, I think that is a big problem in our. Is it just the book industry or just even media?
It's not.
Right?
It's
Wow,
not.
Showmax or Netflix. Wow, what? How many people watch ZBC? Right? So I act like on ZBC, but there are very few people who know that because who's watching ZBC, right? And that's
I
wrong.
hear you.
We need an appreciation for our stuff. But then I think at the book Indaba, at the Ndwasa book day event, we did have conversations around that to say, I think what we need to do is a proper market analysis.
Okay.
What do our people want to read? What do they want to see? That's just to find out. If we could have the info, or if it's there already, can we have that information and find out what people want to read? Number two, I feel like if I try to write like a South African, you may as well just read a South African person's book.
Exactly.
So why don't I find my identity as a Zimbabwean woman writer? And that becomes my brand and my niche and my value proposition and the one thing that I can do better than everybody else. So with my, like I said, I write short stories. My short stories, most of them are set here in Bulawayo. I remember reading Gold Diggers by Sonyate. Just the mention of Max Garage, what I was sold, I was like, yes. Because you know the place. You know the culture. You understand exactly what she's talking about. You understand it. And that is what people want to see. We want to see ourselves in our stories.
I think now that you're saying it like that, I just have a thought. Probably readers want to read something that's foreign to them.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, have you realized how we run for the action movies, for the things that don't happen in our faces? But then you give us a drama that sort of shows us our daily lives and everything. Where somehow, but then if it's something foreign, you're giving us vampires. We want to run for those.
Because media is an escape, right? We do it for the escape, to escape our current situation, to rest from all of it,
So let's say I'm a struggling single mom
Yes.
here in Bulawayo, and then Nkanyiso writes a book whose main character is a struggling single mom. I cannot be living my life here and living it in your book again.
Yes. But then shouldn't you? Wouldn't you want to see yourself represent? Maybe we need a mindset shift.
Yeah,
No, because like when I started speaking to you, I was like, I enjoyed that story. It was a comedy, right? How to read. But because it came where I was and I found myself represented in this story. That is why I could relate. It's okay to have an escape and what have you. But let's also have validation. Don't people want validation?
True. We do.
Right, of your experiences to say hayi awuhlanyi vele kwenzakala
Kwenzakala
njani
like
and
this.
lo unqobe so that way you can find your way, so that TV is not just an escape, it's not like an opium, some sort of drug or whatever, but it actually comes where you are and helps you deal with issues. Singabe zonke sibalekele izinto.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
mental health challenges and everything. If we could just find validation, because abantu abalazi people are always busy. No one has got the time to sit and talk to someone. But if the content around us could then give you that catharsis, I think then there's something there.
I have a feeling that probably we don't wanna face us.
Ourselves.
We don't wanna face us. So the previous guest was here. We had a talk about African spirituality and how we don't want to talk about that. We would rather talk about something else, but we see it as taboo. So I think it's the same thing why most of us don't go for therapy. We don't want to face us. That's why even when picking a book to read, I would rather read a Robert Ludlum instead of Nkanyiso written book, because that one is talking about something that is totally divorced from my life. And then when now you are mirror, like it's me facing me. So I like what you said. Probably what we need is a mindset shift to say, why can't you focus on getting validation and probably inspiration? Sometimes you get inspiration from just reading, and you get inspired by a character. So maybe if you guys, who our authors, if I don't know how best you can do it, because it's difficult for you to bring readers. You can bring writers together and talk to them, but can you bring readers?
There has to be a way.
There has
to be a way to bring readers together. And as you were talking, I was thinking, is there a way maybe to merge both? To inform and entertain at the same time. To encourage and entertain. Because there's a particular show that I watch like all the time. I even follow them online. He's a very famous person, Steve Harvey.
Okay.
Steve Harvey will give you advice and then make you laugh in the same breath, So maybe it's okay to fictionalize things, and even if we're talking about something, to be entertaining about it, So, for example, I'm thinking of Hitting Budapest, right? By No Violet Fulayo. It's a very strong story, yeah? She's talking about the country and IMF and SADC, but it's kids who are stealing guavas. Very entertaining, amazing voice, amazing what, and everything else is nuanced. And so, but she spoke and she said what she wanted to say. So maybe that, trying to marry entertainment factor and then also the serious stuff, the informing and the validation. And
I appreciated that woman is writing. Before I even read her book, I appreciated her writing from a short story.
Yes.
Like it was just an extraction from the book.
Yes.
And you can tell this person is talking about serious politics.
Serious things.
But then it's just
entertaining.
Yeah. But then we cannot have all our authors writing that way.
Yes.
Everyone has to have their own voice, their own way of me saying. Even if I come across a just a piece, I can know which this is Nkanyiso, So we.
Yes, it's not a.
But all I'm saying is, as authors, you need to come up with a way.
Yes.
We are trusting you.
Yes. No, I think we need a market analysis.
Okay.
So I'm taking that question that you asked with me. Is it possible to get book readers in a room and find out, not even on a room, maybe do a poll or something, but to collect information.
Yes.
And then we make data-driven decision about the whole thing to say, okay, if we're going to be telling stories. So that day we started a discussion on a storyteller's ecosystem. And now that we want to press play, the biggest question is what will they be doing? What stories are they telling? So we're trying to find the ideology and the ethos behind it. And I think that question would actually serve to inform us better on that. To say, Vele, what do people want to read?
Yeah.
What do people want to?
True, because I know someone might have heard you saying, the South African way of writing and stuff like that, and they might run into imitating and becoming a copycat. Because if there's one thing that I've realized a corner within the book space, the copycat culture. It exists. People are busy screaming piracy, but then there's another author who's writing something that is slightly different in a slightly different way. But if you put both books together, you'll be like, hi, well.
Yeah.
And you can tell that from the set books that we did at school. The set books, especially ours in Deville, I think most of them, no man, ahambelana too much, even if they are different authors.
Really? Which ones ahambelanayo?
No,
we did
I
what?
wouldn't.
Awubakithi, umhlaba, what?
I wouldn't wanna make enemies just
Okay,
like you, but I just feel like there is also an element of copying, imitating. It's okay for me to be inspired by you and your writing, but I think as a writer, I have to find my
Your own voice, yeah.
Exactly. Instead of trying to see the world through your eyes.
True.
Yeah. Then I also wanted us to talk about the film industry. You have been go film industry, or you are still go film industry. What's the relationship between writing and acting?
Storytelling. Both are storytelling. There are different forms of it and different processes to both, and the products are slightly different.
Okay.
If film is a visual medium, so filmmakers generally think in pictures and frames and how they could say the things you'd have to write down in prose by not saying them.
I'm trying to go to the idea, or the idea, or something that is happening in other countries that we haven't really seen here in Zim, or it's there but it's not yet, the culture of turning novels into films. I don't know. I feel like it's something that we have not yet tapped into as a country or as a city, Bulawayo. That's where I'm trying to drive the conversation to say what can be done, what relationship can be established. Okay, siqalele kwelakhe book. You were talking about the storyteller's ecosystem. There's a part where it's, what's the last part? The one where adaptation. Yes. Where are we lacking, and what can we do for us to see this book as a film?
I'm actually still trying to do my research on that to find out what is the problem. So when you're trying to bring people together, you're thinking, why are they not together in the first place? Okay. Why hasn't this happened before? So that's where, but yeah, I think adaptation, I think books are content, right? We're looking for content for our TV, and we have so much.
Yes.
We have so many books. And yet all we need is someone who can just adapt them to film, right? Do the screenwriting, get the actors, pull people together. I will say though that screenplay is more expensive, obviously. You've got actors, you've got equipment, you've got locations, you've got catering, you've got costume and what. It's easier to just sit down and write, right? So as a medium, Vele, film and TV is a bit more expensive.
But we already have I won't mention names. I won't. But we already have filmmakers
Yes.
who are giving us films that we can't even watch. They have the equipment and resources and everything, but the type of stories that they're telling,
Yes.
you get bored. Like you're like, come on, really.
Yeah.
But then there's an interesting book that can be turned. So it's not really. I'm not sure. Is it an issue of not having what do you call it? Resources, or it's an issue of a lack of collaboration between the two industries?
It's a lack of collaboration between the two industries and a scarcity mentality. I wrote my book. It's my book. I will make millions, me, myself alone, from my book. So when you say, no, partner with step 3 events, well, you should know, but then I think that's one of the things you find. People do not want to collaborate. People don't want to whatever because it's mine. We're siloed and lokhu ngikwenza ngiyi-one. Also, like I was talking about ecosystem, that ecosystem discussion, if I approach someone and say, can you turn my book into a film? They want to charge me an arm and a leg for that. Instead of them saying, we can partner and own this thing together.
Exactly.
Sidle when we sell the product.
When we sell the product.
We
always want the financial conversation first.
And we want it now, yes. And so khonapho cause lami imali yangikhona la yiyo engiyidinga ayikho ngulandile. Then everything just falls flat. Right? We're dead in the water singakayi. So I think fine, we're all hungry, but I feel like in collaboration creates a structure, and structure is what attracts money. Singahamba sibaningi, hayi mina I write prose. She's a screenwriter. Laba bayashuta. Laba bangama actors. We want to do this thing. The chances of funding are greater than when I go ngiyi-one.
Okay.
And the sad thing is that it is actually a part of Ubuntu. So I worked for an organization that used to do these ecosystem things. And I remember when we're doing the stuff, Zibala, the material, I remember one day I was like, but guys, izinto zonke lezi innovation, collaboration, we have them in Africa. So ubuya nganto ngenye into emangalisayo. We've always had this. Okhulu bethu besenza amalima anti ungalima insimi yakho and take 2-3 months to finish. Isiqinti sonke siyabuya silime lapha siqede. Sibuya laphana siqede, sibuya laphana. By the end of 1 month, wonke umuntu uselimile. Seqedile. And no one is getting paid. No one, no. Ubuya lamahe, uyabuya lamahe wenzani and siyancedisana. We always had that. Then somehow we lost it and then it's coming back as this amazing big thing. But collaboration is what will help us across the whole industry. Abantu ababhala prose, screenwriters, actors, what. So I was saying even the other day that, as an author, if you say, so when people say Nkanyiso is an author, I'm like, no, I'm a storyteller.
Okay.
And my product is not a book, it's a story.
It's a story.
Because then it can be adapted to film. Because I'm just trying to keep my mind open to that. Utai, don't stop here. Fine, then what?
Okay. Yeah. I had to mention to the audience today, I have a woman here. So now I want us to talk about women and the book industry, women in writing. Are there any challenges or situations that you feel like they only hit women, or they hit women more than they hit men?
Okay. So writing is intense, right? Ungabuza umuntu, how long did it take you to write your book? They'll tell you it took me 4 years or 5 years. So you need time to write. Also, there's a significant part of writing that is not writing. That's just living your life, experiencing stuff, observing human behavior so that you can create your characters.
Get inspiration.
Understanding, yes, getting inspiration, understanding the problems, the challenges you want to talk about. As you talked about finding your voice. That takes time to find your unique voice, because all of us, we've got different voices, which is good, but you are not there to copy them. They are supposed to guide you to find yours. All those things take time. And the one thing women don't have is time, because we're caring for everyone else.
Yeah.
This care work thing is what's killing us. We don't have time. You have to work a day job, and then you get home and you're taking care of other people.
It's still working.
And you're still working and you can't write. I've had ideas floating in my head. I now keep papers. Like if you go to my house, there's papers.
Everywhere.
Because ideas come and I can't put them down. Ngoba ngisabona isitshwala. So sengizabhala phansi. I've got all these papers. So ngiyabhala phansi. All my ideas. Then one day, when life is so kind, as you give me the opportunity to write, I write. I think that is the biggest challenge that we face as women in any industry, but also in the book industry. Time to live, to follow our passions, to become the version of ourselves we want to be, because we are stuck with care work. And then the other challenges, I feel like they might hit everyone the same. I'm new. I just published one book, but I had a good publisher. I was also female, so she was really understanding. And I did not face, the challenges you would face as a woman in other industries, the challenges you face, sexual harassment and what have you. I did not face that in my publishing journey. But the challenge I face is this time.
The time.
Just the time
but
to write.
Can't we bridge that? Can't we bridge that?
Yeah, we can.
By, getting assistance and
yes, I think I'm still actually doing my research about this, but I really think that one of the most underrated industries is the maid service, like helpers.
Okay.
I really think that if someone needs what you're doing every day, that's a lot of money, guys.
It is.
We need airtime every day. Look how much money it makes for the people doing in that business, right? So people will need 3 meals a day, a clean house, laundry, just about every day. Some of the challenges that you have, kulabo maid laba abangekho professional. Yabe sekubuza into zakho uthi so lona ngubani? You're thinking how? Okay. So I think, but then I think if we standardize, if we make it professional, if we teach these things, and then also we learn to treat them properly. Adle properly and get rest. Abe lama hours akhe set. That's the help we're looking for. Also, all care work becomes paid care work. No one is being taken care of for free. I think it will also help that agenda of, how you try to teach boys and girls to cook and clean. And that's what should happen, right? Yeah, because sometimes people take these things for granted because they are not doing them themselves. If you know just how hard it is to pull a meal together, just this chwala le nyama lombita, that's a lot. It's like an hour and a half. Auntie, it's a lot.
Yeah,
but if you pay for it, you'll respect it. But because we are doing it for free, and we're doing it for free. So people are just thinking, just really. It's a lot and it accumulates. And ngazi uclean njani uzacleana kusasa. Ngazi upheke njani uzapheka futhi kusasa. Akupheli. And we're doing it for free. Why? Why? Let's hire people to do. Yes, then we have time to do the things we need to do. That's really what that's really what I think, guys. Like, yeah, then it will help.
I think any woman right now, ogu corporate space, corporate industry, they can actually relate to what you are saying, because this doesn't only affect women who are writers. It affects every woman who's chasing a career or building something. You always have to be that person and then come back and carry these other duties back home. And the issue of getting help and assistance, it's a bit tricky, especially the factor which is not a formalized industry, and the people that we hire most of the time, they don't go through any training or anything. They're just individuals. And usually, I've always said this, usually the people who come in as maids, full-time maids, they are people who don't have any other ambitions empilweni. Usually there are people who abalama alternatives. it's like this is the last thing that they resort to. So maybe if we take into account what you just said, make it something that they can study so that someone can really choose and say, you know what,
This is my
this
profession.
is the profession that I want to do. Because in most cases, of course, I know people who are in the maids business who actually chose that and they work in spaces are sharp. But then someone who is over maid is usually someone where they try everything else yangani yala ama-options la amanye anganayaphela, and then they're like, sahamba nye bangumaid. So I think even the motivation to do the work, the need to have a good relationship with me and all that, kuba khatshana, because at the end of the day it's not really something that they, and society frowns upon that a lot. Umuntu ongumate, really, you know,
Yeah.
it's always that. But I think the issue of formalizing will really help. So now that you managed to juggle all this and ended up coming with the book, maybe can you give us just a peek into the book? What is it all about? What's the storyline? What happens inside the book?
Okay, so I think this book is like a letter to my younger self.
Okay.
I'm telling myself and women who are young women who are at the age I was at when I wish I knew the stuff that I know now.
Okay.
It's really about dating and dating relationships.
Oh,
and
Jala.
and how hard it can be, right? And so to me, I feel like I don't know what men are looking for, but I think young women.
Does anyone know?
We do. We're just not going to talk about it. But I think what women are looking for is love, right? I remember, I can't remember whether it was a book I read or it was an article or it was a conversation with a friend. It's like women have this container that just wants love,
Yeah.
right? That this insatiable appetite for ukuthandwa, right? And it feels like we were just born that way. And so we go around looking for this love, but we don't know what it is. So you hold on to it. So you find people in toxic relationships, but that don't leave. And the whole landscape of it, why and what, and you can see it now when you're older, or if you're a therapist and you're trained in all this psychology stuff. But yena into lana akayiboni, uthe uyangithanda. Whatever he does, uthe uyangithanda, you know. And we have got all these warped expressions of love, you know. There are people who believe uthando is hard vele kuyabekezelwa, you need to be strong, you need to be able to stand up. It's a song, there's a song even about how it's a, you know, kuyalwiwa kusempini, you know. And yeah, you know. I was talking to a friend of mine, she was saying, hey, umfazi ubamba ingqamu ngehenda, you know. You know that saying, ukuthi umfazi ubamba ingqamu lapha esika khona. She was tired, she's like, hey, umfazi ubamba ingqamu ngehenda, because that gives you control to do something about this blade. It's like, yeah, take it out of your back and move on or something, auntie. So there's a lot of things that we are told about love. But I feel like, I mean, I'm fortunate in that I have a very good father. And he doesn't say much, but he has modeled to us what love is. But love wants things for you, not from you. Anything that wants something from you, iqaphele. Even in business.
Okay.
If we're doing a merger, or it's mergers and acquisitions, the one who wants the deal more, limqaphele. Do you know? So I feel like we are looking for something we do not know. We're looking for something we have not defined. And that is why we end up with all kinds of things that are not what we think that are not what we want, but we think they are. And then sesihlala khona phana. So the story is a young lady. She gets something that she thinks is love, but it's not.
Okay.
And so her journey is when she then learns that, okay, this is not it, this is it. And she does not really she thinks she does not have examples in her life. Because it's easy to look for, like as I think it was on Facebook, this woman was talking about her friends that have been with her through every toxic relationship that she has been through. And I remember thinking to myself, yeah, so she's turning to this guy looking for love when the friends are giving it for free. Because who says uthando lusemadodeni? What of the love of your parents and your siblings and your friends, which is free, by the way?
Okay.
Say you have it, right? I know that people might not have that, but level ukhona around you. So the story, it's not that there was no one who loved her. She just did not realize it because she was chasing uthando lukachomlwa.
From one person.
From that guy.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. And why that love? Because then it validates me. Because this man has chosen me out of all the women. Therefore, I'm special. And so that's her journey. Then unlearning all those things and then coming to a place like, okay, so this is what love is. And what it is not and what it can never be. That is the long and short of it.
Okay. That's a very interesting one, I guess. That's a very interesting one because the relationship subjects is just something else.
Yes.
And we get to a point where people just tell you, Wuti, ama relationships, they are complex. You just find what you can,
live with.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The subject around love is very complex when it comes to our society and everything. Because at the end of the day, we are just raised in a way yoguthi at some point a man has to come pick you and love you. So if that doesn't happen,
something is wrong with you.
Yes. That also takes me to something that's related to the book subject, maybe, that we can talk about. The issue around marriage being seen as an achievement, or the final goal. It's the bar, it's like you can do all these things in life, but as long as you are not married, it's as if awenzanga lutho. What's your take on that?
I don't know. I feel like zazondwa ngabantu, but mina, I think marriage, if you're a religious person, I think God created marriage to be beautiful. Right? And I feel like it is necessary for procreation and as a building block of family and. But I think that there has been a corruption of whatever the original intention of marriage was. Because now I was listening to this woman, she was talking to Oprah, and she was talking about the marriage benefit. She actually wrote a book. And I was like, yes, I was screaming at my phone. I was like, yes, she's talking about the marriage benefit and how men benefit more from marriage than women. Because you leave your people.
Yeah.
Western Africa, that's disempowerment already, because you are the one person ongasowala. Among abantu bala. You're outnumbered. Day one. Ufika nje. The odds.
See you against the world.
Yes. We start fighting for our life. Kona pa umpulule upela lapa. And then a man has to choose you. They then spend a lot of time grooming you for this thing. Uzabuphekela njalo indoda. Hey, indoda, yeah. So fika lapha, all those years of training have to come to bear. So bega, so cleaner. Hey. And you see this, I remember, I always laugh to myself when I see people before and after marriage. And this guy is now big and fat. I'm like, yes, enjoying the benefits. Yes, and I always find it funny, how uyathola uchomedlela embizeni, ukuthi uyapheka udla kwakhe ngembiza nge-teaspoon, adlele embizeni, sadende setholela ama-tray, seguqele, like, yeah, but you're eating from the pot, khathi sokutshintsheni. Suddenly, so they have so many benefits. Seguqelwa sokufakwa amasawudo lamani, ubaba, guys. And I feel like that's why people are being marched into marriage. To me, I know, but I really feel like men benefit so much from women. Lose themselves. You lose your identity. You've gone away from your people. Then you also start falling pregnant. and your body changes. It takes a year to go back to your body, but your psyche is changed forever. You are raising these kids. Abangela bizo lakho, abangasosi laba sibongo sakho futhi.
Yeah.
Ngabakhonale. Like it's like you're being used. I really feel like it's that way because inkomo zatshintsha isibaya wena. So do you know, I saw this documentary site where they were saying the word umfazi means umuntu ofa esazi. I was like, oh my god.
I didn't
What
see
the heck? Umfazi ofa esazi. I was like, if this is true, I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw it on. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, I think, I don't know, marriage, guys, I feel like we should stop. I always say, if my children want to marry, that's the language I use. If they want to marry, they'll marry. If they don't, it's fine.
It's fine.
Do you know? And I feel like we need to teach people that it's okay to be alone. Because the validation comes from within. So I do put it also in the book, which you'll never know what love is unless you've shown it to yourself. Self-love is the greatest love. Not in a selfish way, not in a I'm better than other people way, but just an appreciation of yourself and being able to be comfortable in your own company and be fine who you are and not have to be defined as the wife of, the friend of.
Umgabane.
And Lokana, to me, it is a serious corruption of many things for the benefit of others. I know people are going to hate me. I may have to move to another country, but that's me. Those are my thoughts. I think marriage civilly is beautiful, but it has been made into something else.
Yeah. Someone once said it's now flawed.
It's seriously flawed.
We have twisted a lot of things.
Yes, and the funny thing is, ungafika khona phana emtshadweni. I hate to say this, but sometimes the people that will give you the toughest time are women. And the backbone of patriarchy is women.
Yeah.
Do you know ulama WhatsApp groups okuthiwa umuntu ongumama kumele abe nama-class ametshaya ngo-6? I'm thinking, guys, do we not have bigger things to talk about? And it's these women, and there's so much that is put on this woman.
And there's no space that says kumele indoda from mama daughter.
And when Indoda Must came out, I was impressed at how men just rejected that thing. Did you see on social media?
Yeah,
Indoda Must does all of those men were like, yay, because they know what guy that's a trip must done.
But if
I want
women must, it's okay.
Women, umfazi kumele and we are raised to be agreeable.
Yeah.
We are raised
to submission, isn't it?
Yeah, submission. Guys.
This has been amazing. For someone who wants to read What Love Is, how best can they have access to the books?
Okay, so copies are available at the Savona Gallery bookshop, at the Art Gallery. So come on, get an Art Gallery, like it's the first door on your left. They're also available at Harden and Slice Center, ground floor. I think shop number 13. There's a lady who sells books there. Yeah, you can find my books there as well.
Okay.
All
right. Then all the places mentioned are here. Our audience, some of them are not here.
Yes, the people in Harare. The people in Harare, you can get my stuff from Audrey Chirenje because she publishes and she also distributes.
Okay.
Right. So I'd have to get her address. I don't really know it by head, but yeah.
Okay.
So I do have a distributor in Harare, Audrey Chirenje.
Then Angie also South.
Yeah, Angel South. I'm still trying to get inroads.
Okay.
So I actually joined an Authors Connect group in SA, and they're like, "Is there anything you need help with?" I was like, "Yeah, I just want to get my books in there." So I know I have spoken to a certain lady, but we haven't finalized anything.
Okay.
So once it's final, I'll see where to make the
So
announcement.
the best way will be to follow you so that we can have an update on whether there's a new development in terms of distribution outside there.
Yes, I guess so, yes.
Okay, I'm a social media handles.
Nkanyiso Siziba. On Facebook, I'm Nkanyiso Siziba. On Instagram, I'm Siziba Nkanyiso.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
This was
Thank you.
amazing. This was amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's episode, and I'm pretty sure you had a great time and you really loved this conversation. And I think this is an interesting read, especially if you're someone who struggles with umjolo or who really likes reading about how other people are doing this and how other people are conquering. So please do make sure that you get in touch and get the book. This episode is brought to you by Dev3 Events. We are your partner in lighting, sound system, and photo shoot. You can get in touch with our media team on the contact details that are appearing on your screen. From me, Angela Spanda, till we meet on the next episode. Bye.